Hello, everyone, and welcome to Overtime. Today, the State Department, on their biography page of Donald Trump, listed that he had resigned, effective what appeared to be to most people actually a future date. This was the official State Department website. It was a government site. It was properly encrypted. The certificates on it were all correct. There was no evidence of any hacking that we could tell. Nonetheless, we were on In Time. We did prepare to go live with it, but it still didn't quite pass the sniff test. Why was the time wrong? And it was awfully blunt. It didn't really seem to have. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put it up, and we have we have Periscope. Anybody who wants to just drop us a line, anything we can put up in the chat here if you'd like, just hashtag InTimeShow or at us at InTimeShow on Twitter, and or if you're in the YouTube chat, we should just, but hello there, just ding us on Periscope. So we're branching out. At any rate, what I'm going to do at this point is put up what we saw, and I think you will see it. It did merit. It was an all hands on deck. We all got together and tried to figure out what it was we were looking at. So this is it right here. This is the you know what? I'm gonna full screen that in a second so everyone can see it. This was the biography. To the best of my knowledge, it's still up. This was from the U.S. Department of State, Donald J. Trump. It said his term ended as of today, but the date there is actually a future date. So we were trying to figure out, was it Zulu time? What's the deal here? But what made it so odd was this was clearly the U.S. State Department site. Now, this is they're not going to make an announcement like this. This really doesn't. This is like announcing it on Twitter. I mean, it's just not. This didn't quite seem right. On the other hand, it's the State Department. And like I said, we checked everything that we could verify. We checked the certificate. We checked the HTTPS. It was locked. We were on the correct site in the correct way. So it looked completely legitimate. It's the U.S. Department of State saying that Donald Trump had, in fact, resigned. Nonetheless, we decided not to go with it until we could get confirmation. So we were waiting, and then we got what I believe to be now at this point sort of a proper explanation of this, because this has been circulating around as legitimate. And at this point, we believe that this was the work of a disgruntled staffer at the Department of Justice who decided that I don't know, wanted to play a practical joke. I honestly have no idea what any human being would be thinking putting that up. But at this point, we have a high confidence that this is fake. It is, in fact, it was on the Department of State's website. It was legit, but that it was pushed there by a disgruntled staffer. Why? I mean, dear Lord. But at this point, we believe that this is fake. We have at least one source now that is telling us that this was just, somebody at the Department of State who had access to the website, made the page. I will point out one of the other things we did check was how the biographies are listed. And this may be the legit biography page, but that I could tell the way biographies are listed, Trump's biography would not have been. So I personally think it was actually an alternate page that was just added, and then they were directing people to that page. We weren't able to find the direct link to his biography, but his biography wouldn't be wiped out. You wouldn't just wipe out his biography and say he resigned. So there was something about this. We were obviously taking it very seriously for the last hour. I think we are obviously left-leaning, and a lot of people know that. So there was a good deal of excitement here on In Time, and there was excitement also about the fact that the mainstream media had not covered it. So we were anxious to go forward, but wanted to wait until we understood it better. And I think it is circulating. There are people who are taking it seriously as legitimate. And I think at this point we are prepared to say we do not believe this is legitimate in any way whatsoever. Pompeo did come up and speak. And so it seemed like, hey, maybe he was giving an announcement, but it was actually a scheduled speech. and everything seemed sort of on track for that speech. So at this point, we see no confirmation of this. Now, it hasn't been taken down, which is the one thing that, somebody had pointed out and was a legit argument. If this was fake, why haven't they taken it down yet? They may actually have. Browser caches are kind of a funny thing, so we're going to keep an eye on it. But I think at this point, if you hear anybody saying, hey, he's resigned, the proof is on the State Department, I think you can speak with confidence. And I think we at this point are prepared to speak confidently in saying that is not the case. This doesn't speak to whether or not he's going to resign. And we still have our regularly scheduled show tonight. A lot's been going on. The FBI is now believes that there will be protests at every State Department in the Union. 50 local State Departments. Capitol buildings. So the Capitol building for each individual state. So I think there's going to be a lot to discuss. There's been discussions about, and this was a question that was just asked there, would he pardon himself? He's been advised against that. He can pardon himself, but he can't pardon himself for state crimes, of which at this point he's got a good many on him. And whether or not he could pardon himself for treason is a very good question. And again, if he did in fact release the, if he did in fact order the National Guard to protect the, quote, protesters who had seized the Capitol, I think treason is on the table. Nonetheless, the impeachment charges have dropped. We expect that they will be voted on Wednesday, and Pelosi has the votes. Pelosi has the votes. She will probably hold on to them and not send it to the Senate once he's impeached. He will still be impeached. He will not be able to pardon himself, but the trial can't begin until they get it from, and this was an issue last time when Pelosi held on to it as a way of as a bargaining chip in sort of the political maneuverings that you always see here. In the last impeachment, she held on to it until she felt that McConnell had at least made some compromises on the rules for the trial. At this point, she's indicated she's going to hold on to it for 100 days, allow Biden his best opportunity at doing the best job he possibly can. We're going to be discussing this and more tonight. I think overtime tonight is scheduled for 9. We're shooting for 9, but things are a little cray-cray. So 9 o'clock Eastern Standard, overtime, we will be discussing it. Hopefully we'll have Vox with us. But nonetheless, at this point, despite the fact that this was in fact on the Department of Justice, the State Department's official website, and that this was a certified page, at this point, we are confident that it was a disgruntled staffer who did this, and that as of this moment, Trump remains ensconced in his office. What's going to go from here, I don't know, but we felt it was worth going live because this has gotten out, and there are people who are running with it. And boy, do I understand. That was very much what everyone here wanted to do as well. But on checking it, we do not believe it is legitimate at this point. We believe Trump is in office, despite what the State Department is saying. So we'll get everybody up to date, I think, later tonight. And there's some good questions. Is impeachment worth it? So on and so forth. We'll cover it. But like I said, just wanted to do a quick show. We were prepared to broadcast anyway on the assumption that this could have been legit. It was not. So I think hopefully that catches everyone up to date. I'm glad that, I don't know how much hysteria. I think at some point the major network news organizations will be covering the fact that this happened. I think it's newsworthy, which is also why we're covering it. But it's not legit, is I think where we stand on this one. So thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you tonight. Tomorrow we are going to have on Dr. John Shook to discuss the post-truth, living in a post-truth world. Looking forward to that. That will be on In Time. Overtime will be tonight at 9 p.m. Thank you all for joining us.